Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. This is a podcast for Fort Worthians who love our city and want stories from our community's creators. Do you love Fort Worth? You want to know what's happening in your backyard? Then this podcast was made for you. You can find Fort Worth Roots on all the major platforms: Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, all the stuff. We're there. And if we're not on something that you listen to podcast on and you want to see it there, hit me up at media@fortworthroots.com. That's our email. You can let me know where you're listening to podcasts. We'll get it added as quickly as possible. Our guest today wanted to shout out Hochatown Petting Zoo. It's a petting zoo and rescue in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. You can find them on Facebook. Just look at HOCHATOWN Petting Zoo. You're also going to get some NFL Super Bowl predictions in this episode. Important PSA about kangaroos. You'll find out why later. And our guest is going to play live for you. Well, kind of live to me. In this recording, you get two songs by our guest today. And that, hold on. Here's one more note. Ridglea Theater, February 12th. You can find our guest playing with his band. That's a Saturday. You've got no excuse not to make it. All this information is in the show notes. Thank y'all for being here. And please give it up for the front man for a band called A Dangerous Affair, local band out of Fort Worth, Texas, Taylor Jordan. Let's start the show. In the military for a minute, and that's just kind of part of the vocabulary.
Of course. So. Yeah, no, I mean, we've had to do like Six Flags shows and stuff, and they've been really explicit about no cussing, so I've had to really be like, you guys, how is everything going? They're like, why does that guy seemingly have a stutter? It's like, because every third or fourth word at a show is the F word, because it's a show. The F word has impact. The power of the F word, I'm pretty sure there's a book about it, but I do feel like at a show, you'd be like, how's everybody doing? Everyone, but he was like, hey, how you guys doing? It's like, we're doing okay. You know what I mean?
How is everybody?
Yeah.
Glad you could make it.
The snaps. Are we rolling?
We're rolling, man.
Okay, let me pop this.
Yeah, you're good.
This cap on.
I want you to be as relaxed as possible.
Cool.
You don't seem like somebody that gets nervous in front of the microphone. So
no,
but I'll have guests on sometimes, and they're like, "Oh, I'll make sure I don't do anything wrong." No, you're fine.
Yeah,
I'll fix anything that gets screwed up later. So
cool. Yeah, I do want to move this to get a good clear view of this. So yeah, as long as we're good with the view, then I'm good.
That's pretty cool that you thought of that. Most people don't.
Really?
Yeah, I had a guy come in here. I had it set up just like this, and we sit down, and he sat over there, and I'm like. And if you're listening to this, bud, no big deal. It's okay. But it threw me off, and I've got a problem with correcting people too. So I was just like, whatever. Yeah, it's a podcast. Yeah, hardly anybody looks at the YouTube, so it's there as an option if somebody wants to use it. But by the way, your YouTube's screaming. I think you had like 40,000 hits on it earlier when I was looking. Yeah, maybe 40,000.
Wow.
Yeah, 40,000 views since 2013.
Woo.
Killing it.
I'm actually, that's the first time I'm looking at that. I know that's really bad. As an analytics guy, I really could be better. The social media game this year has really last year into this year has taken a big step up for us, because I've been doing this since I was 17, but we can get into the story later, but I come from a very unsupportive background.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I had a 3.9 in high school, and I was extremely intelligent, was in all honors. I graduated with college credits, and my family wanted me to go to college, because I had already gotten so much done in high school. But my thing was, I wanted to do something that I wanted to do, because I wasn't, super happy in high school, and I didn't like the way everything was, and I wanted to do something a little different. And when my parents found that out, they're like, fine, but you're going to do it on your own. And even on my own, they still told me to quit, and they didn't want to they didn't want to see me do any of the stuff I was doing. They wanted to see me go to college and get a degree and become a lawyer or a doctor or something, which it's okay. Now that I'm 28 years old, I understand that at 17, 18, because I graduated at 17, I understand that, hey, my son's going out into the real world doing real stuff, but that's what I wanted to do, and a little support would have went a long way. But for me, coming from that sort of mentality, I feel like it is something that, I got to think about, 10 years later. That's like, hey, now that I've come full circle, it makes sense, but it's still, you know what I mean? It's not right.
Do you think that you would be artistically where you are right now if you had supportive parents?
I would be completely in a different spot for sure, but I do feel like for the better. But I feel like a lot of the things I'm about and like the angst in me would definitely be subsided.
Yeah.
I would be a much calmer, much more loving. I would understand probably how to deal with my emotions a little bit better than I do. I will admit that, because that's something I'm just now learning into my 27, 28 now this year, really starting to get into just that past 25, that quarter life jump. Yeah. Into really learning who you are as a person. And I realized there's a lot of stuff that I probably even repressed that like I didn't really think about, that I was like, dang, 10 years ago that really affected me, but I had to move on, because as a musician it's the next thing, and you don't have time to sit and wonder, what am I doing now, or where did I maybe go wrong, or what decision led me to where I'm at today. You can't really lull on that a whole lot, because the music scene is very much about what's going to happen next? What are you doing next? What are you up to now that's going to come out in the future? Once you've done what you've done, like, for example, just looping back around to this full circle, completing that rabbit hole, this is the first time I'm really looking at these numbers, and this is an awesome feeling of 40,778 people decided that we are worth 3 to 5 minutes of their day, and that's awesome to me, because I don't look at that a lot, and that's something that I'm trying to be better about. But coming from an unsupportive place, it is really hard to think about myself being supported by absolute strangers. But to see that happen, it's phenomenal, but B, it just lets me know that, hey, we really are onto something, and if we hone in there, we can really make this something. But that's awesome to see, by the way. So thank you for pointing that out.
Hell yeah. But that number, I think, to people that don't understand the analytics and kind of the culture of people that are creating things on their own and putting it out for the world to see.
Yeah.
Somebody, just a regular outsider, would think probably 40,000 doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah.
I know different. I know that's incredible.
Yeah, and it's really nothing compared to where we want to be. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's a nice start.
If you had a Hollywood name, if you had a family with connections, or whatever, fill in the blank. Yeah, those would not be good numbers, but you did this yourself.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and going back to the whole, I've been doing this for about 10 years. I really was doing this all my own, and I've had band members come and go, but aside from my drummer now, he's been in the band for 3.5, I think almost 4 years now. Well, shout out to him.
What's his name?
Will.
Will?
Yeah, he's my best friend.
Shout out, Will.
Yeah, shout out, Will. He's my best friend, and he's been sticking it with me for the last, like I said, almost 4 years, and we've really been hitting it hard ever since he's joined the band. And even before that, I've had members, but in a lot of ways, it's been things that I've had to do, and only until I met my drummer have I really been able to put some of that responsibility on someone else and kind of grow with another person. And even right now, we're looking for a bassist. So hey, shout out to any bassists that are listening. If you guys want to come try out for A Dangerous Affair, we are definitely looking to find someone to tour with and move around and travel with. So we're definitely looking for that.
I might be able to make a couple of phone calls.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we are getting hit up by so many venues on the messenger, and I'm trying so hard not to turn them down, but I'm like, we need a bassist. And although we have played shows as a two-piece, that low end is definitely missing. Yeah. And especially with my older age, I can say that in the past, I'm like, bass, who really needs bass? Which I'm sorry I felt that way, because now I understand. When it's missing, you definitely notice it.
Right.
You feel where is that? Oh, that bass you thought you didn't need. That's where it is. You do need it. And it's like, okay, we need it pretty bad. So
I know that there are plenty of thirsty musicians out there that would love to handle the bass for you.
Awesome.
That's the fortunate thing about the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
Is there's so many people looking to gig.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of multi-talented artists that handle other things, but also bass. So I bet even if you couldn't find a full-time guy, you might find a couple of guys that'll help you gig. So.
I mean, that's what we had for the last year was a guy who's moving to Germany now. So that's why we don't have anyone. So that's what we've been dealing with is, fill in. So if that's what we find, that's what we find. We are looking for someone permanent. We do want to find that final piece of our family, but we know that, especially with my drummer and I, with Will and I, we've been doing this for so long. We know we're so honed in on what we want. If someone else is not right there with us, it's like, yeah, you probably are better as a live member, because we really want to find that missing connection of like, oh, you really want to do this the same way as us, and like you're in it and you're ready to invest and travel and like be a family together. Then then come on board. And aside from that, we love jamming with people too, because there's so many opportunities where it's like, hey, it's just a quick show. It's just a quick little run, just a quick couple shows here, there in Houston, Austin, whatever. Things like that other people can definitely take care of. So however it goes, we're musicians and we understand the nature of the business, so we're just looking to get out there, get on the road, travel, play to people, more people, make fans, more fans,
I love your energy,
those
man.
numbers up, yeah.
Love your energy. Something that kind of blew me away when I started digging into your music, the stuff that you did for like the music videos or whatever.
Yeah.
Audio is so clean.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's great. Is that why you're going all the way to Georgia?
Yeah, that's exactly why. It's funny. I tell people, they always ask the same question. Why? I'm just listen to it. Have you heard it?
Yeah.
And then when the people that have are like, they don't ask. It's just funny because I can tell the people that ask, I'm like, you haven't heard it. Yeah. That's why. You don't know because you haven't heard it. But when you hear it.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's immediate. Like, you guys took this to the next level. And it's like, yeah, if to me, as an artist, if we don't take it to the next level every time now, we're regressing. And why would you follow anything that's going to regress? Because then you just always have their old-timey stuff that you can always just sit back and relic on. But if they're constantly progressing and putting out stuff that you continually like, and, you know, they're maturing as, you know, a band and, you know, with their audience, I feel like it's a lot easier to grow with artists and bands and musicians like that. So that's really all we're trying to do. And we feel like now that we've set the standard for who we are, there's no going back on it. So it's just a matter of how much of it can we afford at one time, because there's no regression in this band. It's all about progression and moving forward. And I just feel like that's art in general, if you want to succeed. There's
a home for you in the market too, because I mean, your art is fresh, but there's also a really familiar feel to it.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I was listening to it and I'm like, this sounds like, and then I stopped myself. I was like, he is not going to want to hear what band you think he sounds like.
Who do you think? I'm curious.
I stopped the.
You stopped that in your monologue.
Yeah, I stopped that train of thought. What do you get most of the time though?
That's the thing, we don't. It's funny because I never thought my two favorite bands, I'm going to put this on the record right now. Anyone that knows me, this is not a surprise. They're I already know it. And they could probably say it right now in the 5 seconds just take me to explain myself. All Time Low and Pierce the Veil.
Okay.
All Time Low was the first band that got me into music that made me want to be in a band. So that's my thank a band for A Dangerous Affair existing. All Time Low. Thank All Time Low. Without All Time Low, there would be no A Dangerous Affair. Everyone has that band. For me, that's All Time Low. Now, the progression of turning into a more progressive, harder rock, post-hardcore, screamy influenced band, that was 100% Pierce the Veil, because I was not open to that until hearing Pierce the Veil. So those two for me are big icons for music that I do hear my scream. Oh, you sound like Vic Fuentes from Pierce the Veil when you scream. And I'm like, really? I've listened to them so much, it's just kind of, I hear such a difference in our voices. I was like, I would never hear it personally, but hey, that's who I kind of want to sound like. So cool, thanks. So I get that flattering. A little. Yeah, it's cool. And I do get the All Time Low sometimes, but really probably the biggest one that I feel like is popular that everyone knows that I get a lot, it's probably A Day to Remember, because they border that pop punk but post-hardcore medium influence. I don't quite think they embody our vibe as much, but in terms of, you know, stylistic choices of like riffs and melodies, I can definitely see it. But we get them a little bit. We get all sorts of bands. So like the Used, Silverstein, Seosin, all sorts of. I've noticed they're all really old school, like 2010 and pre-2010 bands. No one like Neck Deep. I love Neck Deep, but no one's ever like, hey, you guys sound like Neck Deep. Like I may have gotten that once or twice, but it's always the older school pre-2010 kind of bands, I feel like. And
I was class of 03. And I think that your music is probably going to resonate with people in kind of my age group, because it, like I said, it just sounds familiar enough that I was like, I've heard this before, you know, but I hadn't.
Yeah. That's the vibe.
So had you already gotten into music for yourself before Pierce the Veil? Because it sounds like that's kind of a secondary influence.
Yeah. I was into music for probably like 3 or 4. The funniest thing is, I don't think anyone knows this except for maybe my original friend that showed me them, is I didn't like them when I first heard them.
Really?
And then I was kind of like, they grew on me really quickly though. Like I think it was within the day or 2 days. Like it was very, very quick. But it was upon immediate listen, I was like, what in the world? You know what? This is actually really badass.
So they were kind of like Nickelback.
God, Nickelback, I don't have anything
I threw that at you as a joke.
No. I'll stand up for Nickelback. They're not a bad band. They're not a great band, but they're not a bad band, especially for people. And me, I was class 2011, so when I was a kid, I grew up with Nickelback songs. I was like, they're not terrible. They're a bit repetitive, but what's popping on the radio back then, that's not. I don't like a lot of 90s music. You're going to show me a lot of 90s icons, I'll be like, don't like them. So it's like, for back then, it's like, Nickelback's as good as you're going to get, in my opinion. So they're not terrible.
For that era.
If you're putting the Nickelback on now and it's more than one track, it's 2 tracks or more, I do feel like I might say something, but
Gotta space it out.
if you throw on a Nickelback song out of nowhere, that might just be the bop that everyone was looking for.
There you go.
I mean, I'm just saying.
All right, so let's get into the elephant in the room, or should I say kangaroo?
Oh, yeah.
The hole in your shirt.
Yeah.
I got to hear the story, and I was waiting until we got on the record before we started talking about it.
So I'll show the camera. That's why we're gonna promote the YouTube while we're here, because
Okay.
that's where you're gonna see the footage at, and we're gonna share this online for everyone to see. This is a little pattern of holes, really. There's the biggest one, and then there's like little.
I'm gonna reach over here and grab the camera. 'Cause
Yeah.
we need a close up of this.
Yeah, and then we'll see what we can explain out of this. But you see, there's a little pattern of what looks like bite marks.
I
It's
mean,
'cause-
that's not just a little hole, dude.
yeah, that's a
shirt
big hole
has
and then
been
a bunch of holes. So a kangaroo did this, and I don't mind wearing the shirt, because if anyone's like, why are you wearing that shirt with the hole in it? It's like, oh, a kangaroo bid this shirt. This is like Yeezys. You ever seen those Yeezy shirts that are just all ripped up?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is a Yeezy shirt. A kangaroo did this. I could charge people more for this shirt because
Yeah.
a kangaroo bid it. But yeah, we went to shout out to I'm gonna probably butcher the name, Hochatown Rescue and Petting Zoo, Rescue Center and Petting Zoo.
I'll
in
find
Oklahoma.
it before I put the video out,
Yeah.
and I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, for sure. They're in Broken Bow. If anyone's near Broken Bow.
Oh, Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's in Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah.
And they're really sweet. I reached out to them beforehand, let them know that, hey, we're headed back from Georgia. We'd really like, because I went there with my ex probably a few months ago. It was back last August, and I wanted to go back again as a band, and we donated some money. I wanted to give back to them and kind of see some of their animals up close, and they were super hospitable, and they let us, hold and play with all these different animals. And I got up close and personal with this kangaroo, and I came up on him, and he was really vibing me. He was getting up close, so I wasn't thinking anything of it. I just said, okay, cool, I'm chilling with the kangaroo. Next thing I know, my shirt's in his mouth, and he's sucking on it. And she's like, the girl that we're with, she's taking us around, showing us all these animals. She's like, hey, don't worry about it. He's just suckling on your shirt. He's not going to bite through it or eat a hole in it or anything. And she's like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Wrong.
And I was like, well, yeah. And I was just like, in my opinion, I was like, oh, you think I give a damn about this misprinted shirt? If he eats a hole in it, hell yeah. And so he ended up eating a hole in it. And I think I was the only one like that ended up being semi-happy about it, because she saw it and was kind of a little bit embarrassed. But I was like, a kangaroo left an impact on my shirt. This is a little memento of my trip. And so
Can't buy that.
yeah, exactly. Like the photos are once in a lifetime, but I can wear this shirt anytime I want to.
Yeah.
And I think about that little guy eating a hole through it. But yeah, she was like, he's not gonna eat a hole through it. I look down and there's these holes in my shirt, and I'm like, hey man, that's pretty cool. So I didn't think anything of it. I mentioned it to her as a joke, and I think she thought maybe I was upset. And I was trying to explain, like, oh, no, it's cool, I don't care. And I think maybe she thought I was being sarcastic. So, again, I don't think she was really cool with the whole shirt thing. But I was like, whatever, man. Me and Little Roo, I don't remember his name at this point. I'm terrible at names. But me and him were vibing it, and he was chilling. So,
Well,
yeah, I
shoot
had
me
a
a
great
link
time
or
with
something next time you think about it.
Yeah.
This episode will come out in a week. So
Okay.
just in between now and then, shoot me a link.
So I have time for Super Bowl predictions.
There you go. Yeah. So what are the predictions?
So I've gotten everything right so far. I don't know the score right now. Anyone who's listening, the Rams and the Buccaneers are playing right now, and I did pick the Rams before the beginning. I know that the Rams are winning, right? Well, they were winning before I left, so I had the Rams to win this game before it even began. So if they win, I got that one right. I got Green Bay wrong. I had Green Bay winning yesterday against the 49ers, and somehow they lost in the snow in their own field. I did not see that coming. So I got that one wrong. And then I did pick Cincy, so I got that one right. I'm 2 out of 3 if the Rams can come through clutch. And then for the last game, I think I got to go with the Chiefs. And so you're looking at, who would it be? The Chiefs and the Bengals versus who is it now? The Rams, and now I'm forgetting all the teams.
That's okay.
I would say the Rams though. The Rams are going to go and they're going to play. I think they're going to play the Chiefs, and I think maybe the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. It's a bold prediction, but
You heard it here first on Fort Worth Roots.
I'm trying to be honest with you guys here, but
So at no point the Cowboys were not. You weren't thinking.
oh, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm sorry, I really am. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I love the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars are my all-time favorite. Hockey is my favorite sport. So of all teams that have ever existed, Dallas Stars number 1, and then Dallas Mavericks probably number 2. But Cowboys are probably dead last on any team. I don't like the Cowboys at all.
Have you been to a Stars game?
I've been to a lot of Stars games.
Okay, awesome. I love Stars games. Now, I have not been to any other professional hockey game, but they put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It's fantastic.
And I didn't even know hockey teams had like cheerleaders.
Oh yeah, the Ice
But
Girls.
they were incredible.
And they were rocking there and doing the eyes.
They're amazing. Yeah.
Dancing up there and it's a fun time, and the intermissions and stuff and the pre-games. It's all really fun, honestly. Yeah,
it's a hell of a show.
I need to go again.
They do a laser show still?
In the beginning, yeah. It's kind of laser show. Yeah. It's good, yeah.
Feel the smoke.
Yeah, and they got
lasers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a child. It's all very entertaining to me.
I love it, and I love the sport. So when they amp it up and the game is good, it gets the blood flowing.
We just got a arena team. It's a lacrosse team out here at the Dickies Arena, Panther City Lacrosse Club, and they have yet to win a game.
I'm gonna try out for that team then.
Well, dude, so here's the thing: nobody on that team lives here. They're all from mostly Canada, I think.
Oh,
But they're from all over the place. But not one of them lives here. And have you been to Dickies Arena yet?
no,
I
live right by it though.
Man.
Okay, I live really close to it.
We were there last night or was it last night? What today? Today's Sunday. Yeah. So we were there last night for the rodeo. That was incredible.
Okay.
We go every single year. Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo.
Yeah.
And this is the second year. It's the third year since they've been away from the old arena.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it last year because of COVID. So this is the second year they've done it at Dickies. And it's hard to get used to because you're so used to the old Coliseum or arena or whatever. I can't remember the name of it. And I
thought that's where it still was, but they moved it now.
I mean, it's almost in the same because the stock
it's just
show,
right there.
Yeah, I mean for the livestock and the trade show and everything, it's still in the same buildings.
Yeah,
just the old arena was over here closer to 7th Street. Now Dickies is right here
on the backside.
So you can literally walk through Dickies, through the trade show area and the livestock pens or whatever, and out the other side, and there's the old arena.
Yeah.
And we did that the first year because we were watching the rodeo the first year that they did it at Dickies Arena. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm going, it doesn't really seem that much bigger, really. Yeah. And so then we got done with the rodeo and we walked through and we went out the other side to the old arena and we just kind of peeked our heads in there because you can't tell me no.
Yeah. I mean, same.
So I walked in there and I'm like, oh my God, it's like a fourth the size. It is so small. And it's crazy coming from Dickies Arena after you watch the rodeo and then going in there and being like, how did we ever do it in here? And last night, the Dickies Arena was completely packed. There was not one seat available.
That's wild.
It's wild as shit.
That is super wild because, again, talking about NFL, I'm surprised certain of those people weren't just at home watching the game.
Yeah. Well, the rodeo cultures, I mean, it's always been big in Fort Worth, but I think on a national level, it's picking up some steam. And I also think that this really badass show on Paramount Plus called Yellowstone has probably put some more asses in seats. But where did you come from originally, or have you lived here your whole life?
Oh, yeah. No, I was actually born in Louisville, so I'm DFW. I grew up in like Garland.
Okay.
And then moved out to Fort Worth because my parents are separated, so lived most of my life with my mom over at my mom's house, and then lived like a year at my dad's after I graduated, and that's when, I turned 18, and they're like, hey, if you're not going to go to college, you got to do your own thing. Right. So I've been on my own everywhere from like Fort Worth, Grand Prairie, North Wilton Hills, all DFW though. But now I live in Fort Worth, and I'm loving it out here, like in the actual city. I'm a Dallas kid at heart, so you would have never caught me living out here. Right. But being out here and like that's honestly a newer thing though, because like back when I was a Deep Ellum Dallas kid in 2010, 2011, Fort Worth wasn't this cool, to be honest with you. Right, so it's gotten a lot cooler. Yeah. So shout out Fort Worth. Everything you're doing is right. Y'all are making it cool. It's definitely keeping up with Dallas. It's keeping my interest in. I don't have any intention of moving back to the suburbs of Dallas again. I think I'm cool right here making the hour trips to all my Dallas shows, because Dallas is just not... They're not keeping up with the time. Yeah. Not as much as Fort Worth.
I think most people, if they're being honest, would definitely agree with that. Like Fort Worth before like 2012 wasn't a whole lot going on. And then 7th Street started popping off, and cool restaurants, bars started popping up in downtown. And then the Stockyards has always been dope, but it's gotten way better.
Cooler now.
Way better.
Uh-huh. If you don't keep artists and musicians around and you don't have entertainment in your establishment, then believe it or not, over time, whatever you're going for is going to get outdated. It's going to be, I feel like people who keep the music and the art inside in the local, whenever you can keep all of your, how am I trying to say it? All of your heritage within the community, and you can establish a sense of like who you are and stick to it. I feel like that stick-to-itiveness really brings a lot of people together, and you're not only like representing a culture of like Fort Worth, but like you're having some sort of relation to your community, and you're allowing other people to say, hey, like, I wasn't going to come out, but A Dangerous Affair is playing tonight, but Joe Savage is playing tonight. Someone's playing tonight, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to support. And maybe I ordinarily wouldn't go out to this type of event or this type of venue, but I'm going to go check out my friend. Well, the venue is awesome. Great example. My dad, again, not the biggest supporter of my music, a decade ago, but now that he's seen how good our music is, and he's seen the difference that, going to a good studio can make, and, sticking with it for 10 years and honing in on your craft, becoming a better songwriter. Actually, shout out to our producers. They actually gave me the best compliment. They're like, you've become a much better singer. And I was like, me? So that's awesome. Thank you guys for that. It kept me going. But when you can do stuff like that, I brought my dad out to a show because he really supports and wants to say, hey, I apologize, I was wrong before. You guys are doing really well. These are really good songs. I want to come support. And he went out to a show, and it was Fort Worth, Maine at Southside. He was like, I really like this venue. We went out to Division Brewery. Really like that brewery. Really like their beers. He's coming out to these events that ordinarily he would never go to, and he's like, hey, I actually really like these places. And it's like, you keep artists like us going to your events, you're going to get, my friends or, other type of people who want to support coming out and being like, I could see myself going to this with or without a show, or I could see myself coming out here for other shows, and it just gives people more of a reason. And I feel like when you want to alienate the musicians and the artists, all you're doing is creating a divide by saying, okay, now you guys have to do it on your own, which is fine, but then we're going to do it on our own, and we're not going to necessarily share anything that we gain with anyone else because we had to grind tooth and nail for it, because you kind of almost seemingly want to turn us against each other by making us fight and grind for every little opportunity we have, knowing that once you alienate us in the beginning, there's already so little scraps to grab from that it's like, what do you really expect us to fight for? Just these 3 events that like 20 bands want? It just makes things more toxic than they need to be, when we really should be building together a community of people who really want to help and grow the heritage of, our area, what we stand for, what we represent, and whoever that is, whatever venue this is, whatever area this is, I feel like everyone could take something from it. But especially with these DFW vibes, because they've been a little bit less representative of the arts, like you were saying, up until more recently after COVID. And now I've been feeling like, hey, now that we're getting a little bit more respect here, these events are popping off a lot better, and more people are coming out, and people are really feeling what's going on.
It sounds like you can agree with this then. A lot of people are saying that, you're talking about that famine mentality, people fighting each other for gigs and whatever, turning each other against one another or whatever. But right now, what I'm getting from a lot of the artists, it doesn't seem like that to them. Like there's plenty to go around right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's been changing. I don't know how things have been coming along. I don't know where things have came from, but I do agree with that sentiment that as of late, that's not been so much of a thing. And I do appreciate, people for making that happen, because years before, I would say before COVID is probably when it was at its worst. Mm-hmm. And then during COVID, it was just take what you can get because there's nothing around. So you can do little, online shows, web shows, whatever you want to do. But once you're doing, shows, the only show we had was Gas Monkey, socially distanced, masked up event at seated tables only, no mosh, no crowd. They're very strict about how people can go. That was our only show we were able to get. Though. It was a great gig, but it was the only one we could legally even get in 2020. And then after that, things have really been opening up. We've had a massive shows, too many shows that we've actually had to turn, unfortunately, a few down that in the past we normally don't turn down shows, but we're just getting so many opportunities. It's like, oh, sorry, we're already booked. So now, I've seen that change, and I'm really gracious to wherever and however the movement started. I'm really gracious for it, because, you are right that whatever they're doing, these venues, they're really doing it right.
Well, you nailed it on the head. It's the venue owners. It's people waking up to that idea that, you know, we need to support these artists and all that.
Yeah.
You got people like Tim Love is a big player in the music scene. I've heard his name dropped so many times when I'm talking to these artists because he's got multiple venues all over the place.
Okay.
And he wants live music all the time at all of his places.
Good.
And I don't know how much of it is, you know, his marketing strategy and how much of it is he wants to be part of the community, because I know that they do other stuff to be part of the community. And these are the people that are going to, our local politicians and people like Tim Love are the ones that are going to keep Fort Worth kind of the way it is right now.
Where would be the motivation for an outsider to make a difference in a community that they're not a part of?
The same reason you put that fucking shopping cart back in the shopping cart thing.
To be a good person.
Just to do the right thing.
I'm a shopping cart back in the shopping cart.
You better be, because you know what? You can't come on Fort Worth unless you're one of the people that put the shopping cart back in the shopping cart.
That's
thing.
good. That's the rule from now on. Just, hey man, I want you to be part of the podcast real quick though.
Yeah, gotta get this out of the way.
You're shopping at Walmart, Target, wherever, your Kroger, Albertsons, you're a grocery store of choice. You
It's
have
cold
your car,
outside, it's raining, you're late.
Yeah. At that point, I'd be like, all right, I put it, but I'm not going to put it all the way in. If it doesn't go in the first time, I'm just going to slam it and run.
You got the guitar behind you, man.
I do.
Do you want to play?
Yeah, man.
You want to take a quick break and then we'll get back after it?
Yeah, I'll probably swig up on some drink here. I was, Strung Out's not up. You had shared Strung Out, and for some reason I thought that was up. I was like, I'm actually going to do, for sure, Strung Out, and then I have another. I don't know how long we have, and I don't know how long these people want me to play for, but I'm at least going to do Strung Out because that's the one you shared on Facebook, and that's the one I intended on doing.
Oh, yeah. Here it is.
That's the one you heard?
Got it right here.
You want me to get started?
Yeah, man, whenever.
All right, well, this one's called Strung Out. It's everything I'm going to be playing is off our new EP, Bringing Out the Beast in Me, but this is the first one we put out off that record. It's called Strung Out. Felt it so many times before, but you're not here anymore. Thought there were so many things I'd like to say, but you're standing in my way. 'Cause you're sad and angry that you could not save me. And I'm glad, but maybe you'll say, I guess I'll be here every day, strung out because I don't know what to say. Stop thinking about the worst and how it's yet to be. I guess I don't know any other way to say these words to you. I guess I'll choke 'em out right now. I don't feel blue when you're around, 'cause you turn me upside down. But now all you see is me when I'm the enemy. I guess I'll be here every day, strung out 'cause I don't know what to say. Stop thinking about the worst and how it's yet to be. I guess I'll be here every day, strung out because I don't know what to say. Stop thinking about the worst and how it's yet to be. Shout out the Fort Worth Roots. Woo! I bet you never thought we'd go so hard. I bet you never thought we'd go so far. But now it's nice to see it's you and me. Yeah, I guess I'll be here every day, strung out because I don't know what to say. Stop thinking about the worst and how it's yet to be. I'll be here every day. I don't know what to say. I will be here anyway. I'll be here anyway. I will be here every day. I'll be here anyway. I will be here every day. I'll be here anyway. I will be here every day. I'll be here anyway. I will be here anyway. I'll be here every day.
Woo!
It's called Strung Out.
Sorry, you got one person audience here.
No, that's good. It's a good reaction.
You got 1,000-person audience next Monday.
Yeah. Good. No matter what happens, I can say dream fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know, achievement level reached, success accomplished, because
Check that box.
yeah, I mean, I've been on my speeds. There's a song we have called Chasing Glaciers, and it's a little slower, and I always tell people, hey, no matter what you get out of watching this band live, we believe in you, go follow your dreams. And I had someone after, I think it was honestly my 21st birthday, we were playing at this skate park, and we headlined the show, and it was like 11:50 something, and I was about to be 20 to 21. It was like when it turned midnight, I was gonna be 21 years old, and they had asked for like an encore, and we didn't have anything like ready for them. So I think we did a cover. We did a cover for them, and it was like messy as hell, but we had a blast. And so we did the cover. We got off stage, and then I was kind of like, all right, it's my 21st birthday. We just played a show, like, let's see what kind of trouble I can get into. And before I could really even put my gear away, someone just brings me to the side and they're like, hey, man, you really inspired me. And he was an artist of some kind. He wasn't a musician. I don't know if he's a painter or a drawer. He was some sort of artist. And he was like, I'm going to go quit my job tomorrow and I'm going to go pursue this. And I was like, wait a second,
Slow
man.
down, homie.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second here. I was
Still
like,
got to eat.
yeah. And I started, trying to say, what I meant was, and he was just, he shut me down. Hey, man, I understood what you meant. It's been a long time coming. It's not a snap decision. I just figured.
You gave him that final shove.
Exactly. And I was like, you thought about this? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you worked towards it? He's like, yeah. And I was like, and you're prepared for what, the future may bring regardless either way, right? Because I wasn't always the successful, quote unquote. And so he was like, yeah, I'm ready to take it on. And I was like, then honestly, man, who am I? I just told you to follow your dreams. Who am I to stand in your way? Go do it. Like if you know what you're getting yourself into, yes. This is what I want to do. And shout out to that guy. I have no idea what his name is. I'm 28 now, so this was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 6.5 years ago, I should say. And I don't know what happened to him, but I really hope he made it successful, because he was like really put on by the speech, really moved by, the performance we gave. And I just thought to myself, I was like, at that age of like 20, just freshly 21, like barely 1 second into being 21, I was like, I'm making an impact on people's life. And like, no matter what happens, this is what I've always wanted to do. So like, nobody can take this moment away from me, because it's happened and now it's a memory. Like once you store those things in the memory, it's like, oh yeah, that's happened. Like, that's a part of your life. That's a part of your heritage. That's a part of your your destiny you're leaving behind.
It's your whole human experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's very awesome.
So if Fort Worth Roots reaches that dude from 7 years ago at the skate park, how does he get a hold of you?
How does he get a hold of me?
We need to find out how that story unfolded.
Yeah, dude. If you're out there listening right now and you remember a dangerous affair from the skate park in Grand Prairie outside of Verizon Theater, Alliance Skate Park, I believe it was. If you're out there and you're listening and you've been following this band low key, but you haven't been keeping up, A, you should be keeping up. But B, if you don't know how to keep up, you can reach us on Instagram at A Dangerous Affair. That's the easiest one. Now let me get it a little harder. On Facebook, actually, let me keep it easy. We're on TikTok. We're on TikTok under A Dangerous Affair as well. So if you want to find us on Instagram and on TikTok, should be super easy. A Dangerous Affair. On Facebook, we're A Dangerous Affair -band. And on YouTube and on Twitter, we had to shorten it a little bit. So we're only A Danger Affair. It's going to be a little tricky, but I'm sure once you put the ADANGER, it'll pull us up. It'll pull us up.
And now that you've been on Fort Worth Roots, anytime you got anything to put out, you can send it to me or tag me in it, and I'll make sure that we put it on our page too, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, shout out Fort Worth Roots, man. If you haven't been on this podcast and you're an artist, you need to reach out to this man.
I appreciate that endorsement. Yeah. Yep, we're welcoming all of our local musicians, because Fort Worth Roots is not supposed to be put into a box. Like, we want to be able to interview anybody.
Yeah.
But I love talking to musicians.
Yeah.
That's
We're the wild ones, right?
Definitely a niche that I appreciate.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are creating something. You're living on the edge. It's insane what people are doing. A lot of the guys that I've had on, like, they're having to manage a part-time job just to keep afloat. But I mean, they're just trying so hard to work off that gig economy and just live the life that they're trying to live.
New album coming out, A Dangerous Affair, called TikTok. It's just going to leave you there 4 hours of just listening
to badass riffs.
Yeah. We don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be extremely addictive.
All right, speaking of badass riffs, you promised me 2 songs.
All right, so I got this other one.
Now I'm getting pushy. Earlier I was like, bring the guitar if you want.
Yeah. This one is I gotta warm up on it first because this one's falling to pieces. It's one that it's on the EP again. It's a newer song, but this is actually an acoustic version of the song. It's actually up. It's probably not. Yeah, it's on our YouTube, but it's really slept on, and let's keep it that way because the original song is much better. We have a music video out for it. If you like the song, go check out "Falling to Pieces." Falling to pieces. How can't you see I'm not the person that I know how to be? You're just not listening, but I'm telling you. So deny the truth, 'cause some things never change, like who I am's not who I was. Oh, okay, oh, say I'm okay. Don't worry, is what they all say. Okay, oh, think I'm okay, but it wouldn't hurt your conscience if you knew my pain. How can't you see I'm just the person that I know how to be? But are you listening? I'm just telling you. So deny the truth. Some things, they never change, 'cause who I am's not who I was. Is it enough of okay, oh, say I'm okay. Don't worry, is what they all say. Okay, oh, think I'm okay, but it wouldn't hurt your conscience if you knew my pain. Okay, oh, say I'm okay. Don't worry, here's what they all say. Okay, oh, think I'm okay, but it wouldn't hurt your conscience if you knew my pain. Nice.
It's better than just one person clapping, so I figured.
It's queued up. Queued up for the kid.
Awesome, man. I get starstruck when I got people playing here. I hate asking for people to come and play, but I love it.
Oh, dude. So, I love it too, man. I appreciate
it so much.
Like I told you on Messenger, I was like, I'm a performer, so I need to come here ready to perform. Like, that's my job.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. No, I do. I get kind of bashful about it. I'm like, play if you want.
No, it's cool, man. I like it. I think people who are comfortable with playing are going to come play, and they're going to do a good job. And then people who are a little bit more nervous and shy, it's like, all right, come talk about your craft, and maybe they'll warm up into it. But I mean, for me, I'm a performer, so I love performing. So,
well, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and I know these guys do too. I haven't actually had anybody kind of shy away from it yet. So I guess I've had some pretty solid musicians on.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we do. So I feel like if you're like, I'll go, but I don't really want to play my instrument or anything like that. Just kind of like, okay.
What's really going on?
Yeah.
So tell me, so I've got it on the recording. What port do I need for your guitar? So I had the wrong port and we had to use the mic.
No. What you have is an XLR, which is great. It goes into the mic, which is going to set you up for this right here. And some guitars, probably about like 30% of acoustic guitars might have a direct input port for XLR, but there's just a 1/4 inch cable.
Right.
It's just a regular guitar cable. And not most, 100% of acoustics should have a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
And then the XLR is just kind of an added.
Right.
Because I don't know of a single acoustic that I know of that has just an XLR and no 1/4 inch. So I feel like the 1/4 inch will get you by all the way.
Okay.
But if you have someone with an XLR, don't shy away from that because it's supposed to be a little cleaner. It's a balanced cable, so it is better.
The first time we used this thing, I was like, well, let me set up the mic stand, whatever. He's like, I can plug this straight into my guitar. I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Today, I thought, you'll be able to plug right in. But
it's half and half, but I would say that probably a little less than half have those because I don't have any. I've never had any acoustics that had those, but I have a couple friends that do. It's just supposed to come out cleaner. I think it's more of a high-end thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a cool guitar, but I only have it because I don't know if you've noticed, it's a thin line. So
yeah, that's very interesting. I have not seen one like that.
Yeah, it took me years to find this one. I have another acoustic I took on tour, but when I found this one, I was like, I have to snag it because I like playing electrically. But like acoustic, because to me, I'm too skinny to be playing all the way out. I'll do it, but it fits me a lot better. This thinner.
That makes sense. Now, is that the actual wood, or is it like a skin on the front of the guitar?
Oh, no, I mean this is the wood, but it's just been like I don't even know, it's coated with like some sort of paint or something. Like, but it's called a flame top.
That's actually in the wood. That's not like just a
sticker. No, as you can see all my scratch marks. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's straight on the wood.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. It's a nice guitar. I do like it. Like I said, it took me forever to find one of these. I saw someone playing with one of these in 2010, I would say. It wasn't this brand, but just a guitar that looked similar. And I never knew that they existed. And once I saw them playing, I was like, I have to get a thin acoustic. You know, just being like, I'm 5'11", 130. Like, I'm a lanky, tall, skinny dude. I need something that fits me and my persona. And I was like, I found this one. It's not as full as other guitars.
Right. The sound.
But it feels good. Yeah, but I mean, if I bring this to a show, they can EQ whatever they want to, and it just feels so much more comfortable to play. But yeah, it's got its drawbacks, but for me, I love this thing. It's my baby.
It's pretty.
Yeah, and it's pretty too. I got a purple one. There was other ones that were less girly, but I was like, I like colors that pop.
Yeah.
Like even if this was pink, I might have still gotten it because I'm not weird about that gender appropriation color thing. Like I think whatever looks cool to me is probably going to look cool to fans. So I'm like, it's purple. Like, I like the color purple decently enough.
I wear pinks and purples all the time. And I feel like it's a really low-key flex.
I mean, we have another shameless self-promotion. We have another shirt of this that's also black, but with like a pink and purple design of this exact thing.
Can people buy your swag?
Oh, if you come to a show, you can 100% buy our swag. If you don't want to come to a show, I'm disappointed, but you can DM us and I'll figure out a way to ship merch to you. We're still new on the shipping thing because we have people from out of the state, and I actually have a couple people from out of the country that are trying to buy our merch, but
really,
It's a little, yeah. I mean, the Facebook groups are like super. They got people from all over, and once they like your stuff and they're willing to support it, it's like, yeah, I will ship it to you. Just let me find out how. But we're getting our shipping situation figured out. But if you live in Dallas, Fort Worth, or surrounding areas, and you want a Dangerous Affair merch, come out to a show. This is going to be aired before our next show. We play a show Saturday, February 12th at the Ridglea. So we'll be there at a pop punk festival. I don't know if it has a name. I just know it's the local pop punk festival of the year. It's supposed to be really huge.
At the Ridglea.
At the Ridglea.
And this is what day?
February the 12th. It's on a Saturday.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah.
Saturdays are good for me.
Yeah. So that's our next show. And then I got a couple of Dallas venues on the sidelines right now wanting to book us, but we got the bassist situation. So I got to figure out if we're going to play as is, try to find the bassist first. We got a lot of stuff as a band to discuss, but we just got back from studio, and we're not going to let anything slow us down. So if we don't find a bassist, do not expect to not see us playing, because we will just assuredly play as a two-piece if that's what it ends up coming down.
I don't think you're going to have any trouble finding a bassist, and I won't be too pushy about it, but I'll put some feelers out.
Yeah, be pushy about it. Start pushing people. Man, if you don't go try out at least.
No, I'm not going to be mad if I'm like, yo, check this guy out. And
of course.
Then you're like, no.
No. Yeah. I'll be like, they were cool until I was like, hey, man, so you want to travel the world? And they're like, I don't know about that.
All right. Venues. You said Ridglea Theater.
We are at Ridglea Theater.
February 12th?
February the 12th.
Okay. That's a Saturday. So Fort Worth Roots listeners, if you don't make that one, come on. It's plenty of time to plan, get a babysitter, whatever you got to do.
And if the Rams win the Super Bowl, that's doubly you got to go, because I
called it.
Yeah, I called it. I called it. I called the hell out of it, man.
What other venues do you frequent?
So I just put a show on this is the first time a Dangerous Affair has ever put on our own show, but on New Year's Day, shout out to Maine at Southside, we did put our own event on at Mass. We frequent I want to call it Gas Monkey. Everyone who's listening, if you've ever went to Gas Monkey, they have now been bought out by Amplified Live. So if you hear Amplified Live, that's just Gas Monkey. But yeah, we frequented Gas Monkey when it was Gas Monkey, and we've even played one show since they've been taken over. So we played at Amplified Live. We do play there quite frequently. And then other than that, I mean, it's just a lot of like Deep Ellum stuff and a lot of like even stuff in Fort Worth, like we were talking about, like the Ridglea. A lot of just venues that have really stacked shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a stacked show and you want a good band, talented band to come play, feel free to ask us, and we have some friends as well if you need some extra help.
Do me a solid and make sure that you're tagging us whenever you put up your social media hits.
Yeah.
And I'll share it with my people too.
Okay, yeah.
So, and you are absolutely welcome. This has been a great recording. You're welcome on the show anytime you want to come back.
Well, let's do it. Next time we have something to talk about.
You want to do it tomorrow? Come on back. We'll talk about kangaroos and asshole dogs named Ruger.
Ruger. It's just funny because you can even growl his name, Ruger. He's like,
and he would deserve it.
Yeah. He'd be like, he'll just talk back. He's like, that's how we talk now, right?
Yeah. We're going to leave that story for the next
time.
Yeah.
For the next time.
Oh, Taylor, thank you so much, man.
Thank you,
My
man.
pleasure having you on.
Pleasure.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much. Fort Worth Roots, we're going to get out of here. Make sure that you check up with A Dangerous Affair and our boy Taylor here, and we'll see you next week.
Shout out Fort Worth Roots.
A huge thank you to Taylor for coming on the show and being part of Fort Worth Roots. If this is your guys' first time hearing an episode and you loved it, subscribe to us. Whatever you're listening to podcast on, if you'll hit that subscribe button, it will remind you every time we release an episode, each and every Monday. Trying to stay consistent for you guys, make sure that we're putting out a quality podcast. We're going to be doing some things to kind of straighten up shop around here. First thing we did is change the description for the show. Trying to make it far more specific. I've been telling you guys since the very beginning, I do not want to box Fort Worth Roots into a corner, but at the same time, I want people to know what they can expect here on the show. So our goal is to clean this up a little bit, make this look a little more professional. We got ideas, we got things, and we're always looking for feedback. If you've got some ideas, you want to tell me something that would work better for the show, I'm one person. It's more better if I've got like a dozen people telling me what to do. Doesn't mean I'll do it, but I might pick and choose a really good idea. So hit me up, media@fortworthroots.com. Oh, yeah, and you can still send me an MP3 format voicemail, and I'll play it on the show. Doesn't happen very often, but hey, if you made it this far into the episode, the very, very end of an already pretty long episode, you're a fan. You love this show. Subscribe. Email me. Holler at me. Let me know what's up. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. All right. Show notes. All this information is in the show notes, and you can find it there. Hochatown Rescue and Petting Zoo in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Did not find a website for them, but I found a Facebook page. HOCHATOWN Petting WN. Yeah, Petting Zoo. Jesus. I do enough of these recordings. This is not the original. And I know my goal is always to do it in one take. It doesn't always happen like that. So then I start double guessing myself. Did I say that already, or was that the last take? Anyway, thanks for bearing with me. So we got our NFL Super Bowl predictions. We'll see if that comes true. The 2 songs that you heard, I did not write the second one down, but it will be in the show notes. I'll make sure it is. Where to go? I had it here. Strung Out. That first song he played is Strung Out. And I will put the names of both songs in the show notes so that you have that. Just a reminder, Landmark did not burn down. I need to, in the moment when we're talking to these guests, we do not have, the website for these places pulled up, or, we're not looking at anything solid. It's just conversation. We're going off of what other people said. And he didn't mean to give us bad information, but we were told that Landmark had burnt down. It has not. There was an electrical fire. It is shut down, but should be open soon is the rumor. But I don't know that. I don't have any hard facts here. So just, a reminder. On Fort Worth Roots, we were just having conversations, and some of this information may not be 100% correct. Taylor Jordan's band, A Dangerous Affair, can be found on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search A Danger Affair for YouTube. He's got some great videos. We were talking about this during the episode. It's unbelievable that this guy has 40,000 downloads. It's pretty cool. I mean, just to kind of put that in perspective, I think Fort Worth Roots as a whole has about 20 to 25,000. But there's one episode in there that's got 15,000 views, something like that. It's ridiculous. And I had actually put some money behind that. So 40,000 views is incredible. These videos are pretty cool too. We got up early Saturday morning, and we're just kind of laying around watching some of Taylor's videos, and they're really, really creative and very well put together. So go check that out. His Facebook page is A Dangerous Affair, and that way you can stay up to date on what's going on with these guys. Don't forget, they're playing live at the Ridglea Theater February 12th. That is on a Saturday. Not going to want to miss it. You just listened to the episode, so you know how good Taylor is on the mic as vocals and as a guitarist. So definitely something you want to check out. And thank y'all for supporting these artists. I've been running into people that listen to the show or pay attention to us on Facebook, and they hear about these things, and they're actually going out and checking or enjoying these events that are coming up. And I can't tell you how much it means to me if you are ever at one of these events that we were telling people about, and you see me, if you could just tell me that you came to see this event or that particular artist or whatever, let me know that you came because you heard about it on Fort Worth Roots. That makes my week. It's incredible. It's been happening lately, and it's very encouraging. It's more encouraging than a review left on iTunes, which is awesome, or a comment on one of our posts on Facebook, which is also awesome. But whenever we go out to these events and we run into people that were impacted by the actual podcast, and they left their house and came to a place to support an artist because of us, that is the most awesome compliment ever. And it's our goal to make sure that we bring all of this information to you. Whenever one of our guests has an event coming up, if we catch wind of it, we will put it on our Facebook page. And it's easy to find our Facebook page. It's Fort Worth Roots. If you'll subscribe to that, I'll make sure that you are aware of anything I'm aware of coming down the pipe for any of our artists, the comedians, whatever. We'll make sure you're in the loop. ADA also just posted on Facebook that, excuse me, you don't know that, A Dangerous Affair. Taylor abbreviates it to ADA. But A Dangerous Affair is going to be playing at the American Airlines Center before a Dallas Stars game. And it sounds like all the details are not firmed up yet. He does not have a date as of yet. But this is something that you would find on Facebook for Fort Worth Roots or for A Dangerous Affair. You could find this information there. But it looks like maybe sometime in late March, they might be playing at a Dallas Stars game. How cool is that? Man, if y'all have not seen a Dallas Stars game, that's worth every penny. Some of those seats get pretty damn expensive, but it's worth it. Check it out. All right, this is the part where I just ramble. I appreciate everybody listening to the show. When you do listen to the show, it shows up on our analytics. So, you don't have to do much else to support the show. Of course, we appreciate any support in any fashion, but just listening to the show and streaming an episode shows up on our analytics, and it helps us. So thank you. And I see that, and I appreciate it. So every single person out there streaming even one episode, thank you so much. And that's it. That's all we got. We will have another awesome episode next Monday. It's with Matthew Broyles and Trista Morris, excuse me. And this episode, this recording went 4 hours. And if you want to make fun of me or pick me apart for dumb shit that I say on a recording, next week's episode is going to be the best opportunity you have for that. I had been up since about 3 a.m. I worked a 14-hour shift, and I had to reschedule next week's episode, the recording, 3 different times because I got held up at work. And Matthew and Trista, they were so nice to make sure that they accommodated my schedule, which they should never do. They're the guest. But we made it happen. And so at the end of a very, very long day, I sit down with these incredible artists, and we do a 4-hour recording. So just so you know, these episodes do get kind of compacted. I make sure to take what I think is the most interesting part of the episode and try to get it as close to 45 minutes as possible. Next week's episode is definitely going to go long. There's no way I'm going to be able to compress a 4-hour episode into 45 minutes, but I'm going to try. So, and just so you guys know, I don't advertise this much. I don't promote it because I'm still trying to get 100 episodes under my belt before I start asking for anything from anybody, whether it be a business owner, operating as a sponsor for Fort Worth Roots, or somebody coming on board to be a patron like yourself. There's an option on patreon.com. You can look up Fort Worth Roots, and we have an option there where you can support the show. Now, I am still trying to put that together. It is a little bit time consuming. You can go and you can support the show right now. And the goal is to make sure that you get these longer episodes. So like next week and this one this week, the one that you just listened to, these episodes go really long. And I try to compress them down to 45 minutes. But our Patreon patrons, the people that contribute to the show, people like yourself, listeners that decide they want to help the show out by making a contribution and then in turn getting extra content, they can go on there and they can get the full episode. And so what I do is instead of trimming down a 4-hour episode, I'll give that to you and I'll let you listen to the whole damn thing. So Fort Worth Roots is always going to be free. There's never going to be a paywall. I'll die on that hill. I'm definitely sticking to that. But we would like to do bigger and better things with the show. And that's where our patrons will come in and sponsors, businesses, things like that. So we will be looking into that in the future. It is up, it is running, and you can go get the full episodes on Patreon. I do have a backlog. Some of these episodes aren't up yet, but that is what we put out whenever we put those on there. The first 55 episodes are already up. You can see those on Patreon, the full version. And once you make a contribution, you kind of become a subscriber on that and make a monthly contribution to it. You have full access to all these full episodes that did not get cut down or compressed or anything like that. So it is available. It's just not as clean and as streamlined as I'd like it to be yet. There's going to be a lot more perks and benefits added to that later on as we develop. So that's it. That's got to be it. I've talked too much. This is a almost 11-minute long outro. How's your week going? Well, it's just starting, right? It's Monday. Well, I hope you have a wonderful week. And we will see you next week with Matthew and Trista. And they play live for us too. Live to me, recorded for you, but here in our home studio. So that's going to be a great episode. It was a really fun recording. We actually went out to, I'm still rambling. We actually went out to, what is the name of that place? The Woodshed yesterday. And so this is the day after we did a 4-hour recording with these guys. We went out to the Woodshed and saw them play, do the thing out there. And it was awesome, man. If you haven't been out to the Woodshed, it's kind of in the TCU area. You know where Old South Pancake House is? It's over there in that little spot. So, but a great little venue, excellent food. My God, their food is good. So if you haven't checked that out, if you're not just going for the music, go check them out for the food. And we like supporting people that support our artists, and the Woodshed definitely falls into that category. I know for a fact that obviously Trista and Matthew have played out there. I know that Lindsay Hightower has been out there playing for those guys. So it's just another one of those awesome places doing awesome things and helping out our musician community. Okay, no kidding. That's enough. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Guys, I'll see you next week. Peace.